People are leaving the initiative and Perfect Dark. We have a brand new game announced for Xbox Game Pass on day one, and Phil Spencer talks transparency. Welcome back to another video, guys. If this is your first time here, you find this video entertaining and informative, consider hitting that subscribe button. So over the last couple of days, we've seen a few departures from Perfect Dark and from the initiative, from senior game designers, directors, and people at higher up roles who are working on this project. And it has people wondering what is going on with Perfect Dark. We first saw that official trailer, which announced that Perfect Dark was coming back. It was going to be reimagined, kind of remade in a new style that was different from the previous games, and it has a lot of people excited. This is probably one of the most anticipated games coming out from Xbox Game Studios, and it's been silent since we first saw that official trailer. Now, the departures over the last couple of days isn't the first time that big names have left. If you remember, in 2021 in February, Drew Murray had decided that he was leaving the project and he was going to go back to where he came from, which was Insomniac, and that was probably out of all these the biggest loss so far. Now, we don't know how that's affected the project, or if it didn't really have a major effect, if he was able to pass on the knowledge that he needed to pass on, and the people who are currently working on it were able to take that and run. But we have some more departures here. Firstly, we have Dan Neuenberg, who was the previous game director there, that has left the project and hasn't joined any other studio, as currently on his LinkedIn profile page, it says that he's looking for work elsewhere in design or director roles. And Neuberger, who has previously at the initiative, also previous to that worked at Crystal Dynamics and Tomb Raider. And as we know, there is that collaboration going on between the initiative and Crystal Dynamics, and I'm sure his connections based off of him previously working at Crystal helped bring that together. So he could be a big loss, or maybe his time was just done there. He did what he had to do, and now he's moving on looking for new projects and new challenges. And then we go here for some tweets from Idle Sloth showing that there are a couple of other people that have also left the project and left the studio. Firstly, we have Ian Miller, who is a senior designer who was working on Perfect Dark for almost 3 years, staying within Xbox Game Studios though, and has now joined the Coalition. Then we go down here. Ian Davis, who was the lead gameplay animator, has also left the initiative to join Deviation Games. So those are 3 people who were working on Perfect Dark. This game, we haven't seen anything else on it yet, and have decided to leave. And they're big roles, because you have a lead gameplay designer, a senior designer, and then you have the actual game director itself. So what is going on here? It's hard to tell. There's lots of speculation. Clobro has some good thoughts on this, so let's see what Clobro has to say. Lead gameplay animator is also gone, and he says, no idea what to think anymore. That's surely a lot of key people. I have to admit, it's always difficult to make assumptions. These are the possible scenarios I could see, and he lays out 4 possible scenarios. So the first one is, he had an original theory, and that he was right that the key work by the initiative on Perfect Dark is done. That's what his original theory is. And now full production, because that work is done, has moved over to Crystal Dynamics, and then there are positions that overlap until the next phase of the project starts. The second scenario is, he says here, I hate to have that as a possible scenario, but that's what game development sometimes is. Maybe things simply didn't come together at the initiatives, and things got rebooted at Crystal Dynamics. And that would be probably the worst scenario, because it means all that time that new studio that's supposed to be working on this game kind of got wasted and is getting rebooted at a partner studio who isn't a part of Xbox Game Studios. And then what is the initiative going to be working on now if they aren't working on Perfect Dark anymore? Third scenario, the initiative may be scaling back to a World's Edge kind of studio, where you have some of your own devs as well, but rather oversee a franchise as your core task and work on games with other studios. And I mean, you look at this person here leaving, going to the Coalition, that could be a possibility. And then the fourth one here, there are other things happening at the initiative out of our reach of information. Once again, I'm just speculating like everyone else. So maybe there's a new project that they said, hey, we have Crystal Dynamics here. Let's have them finish this game up, finish up the next phases of this game. Let's get the people at the initiative who are still there, who aren't leaving, to start working on a new project. It's hard to tell. Who knows what's going on with this game, but I think we need to see something from Perfect Dark soon, because this is a game I don't think that Xbox will have the luxury to be able to mess up. Like the Perfect Dark has to be good. It has to be a great reboot, and has to instill confidence in people that a new studio fostered under Xbox Game Studios is going to put out quality, great games. All right, moving over here to an exciting announcement about another game coming over to Xbox Game Pass on day one. And after seeing this announcement, I hadn't really heard about the publishers or the developers, but seeing that this game is coming to day one has me excited because of the type of game it is. And the game is called Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn. Now, this game is coming from publisher Kepler Interactive and A44, who are the developers behind the 2018 action RPG Ashen. And I didn't know really too much about this game, but it is a Souls style game and looks like a ton of fun. Definitely a game I'm going to keep my eye on and check out at some point. Just put it in my backlog because I love the graphic style. The combat from the trailer looks awesome, and I had no idea it existed, but from what I've been reading and from what I've been seeing is that a lot of people really enjoyed this game. So their next project that is going to be coming out, like I said, is called Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, and is coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XX, Xbox One, and PC, Steam and Epic as well on PC, and it's going to launch straight into Xbox Game Pass. Now, what this is it's a action RPG with guns and magic, an AI-controlled magic animal companion, and they gave just a quick little teaser trailer of what we can expect from this game. And you can't really see too much, but you can kind of see the aesthetic and the style of world that they are going for. And it looks like it's going to be another Soul style game, which, I mean, right now is a perfect time to announce a game that plays in that style, especially with the release of Elden Ring and the amount of hype around that. And just from seeing this trailer, seeing what they're kind of going for with the different character designs and like stuff like this here, looks very cool. So that's awesome that it is coming to Xbox Game Pass on day one. And they describe the story as the door to the afterlife has been opened, allowing the old god's army of the undead to escape from within. Join Norvanik, a member of the Coalition Army, and her mystical companion Enki, a strange creature gifted with magical powers, as they pursue their personal vendetta against the gods. Now, we don't have official release date yet, but it is supposed to be coming in 2022. It says here TBA 2022. So keep your eye out for that. That's very exciting, and I can't wait to see more about Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn. And finally, let's talk about some more comments from Phil Spencer. He was on the Xbox Era podcast last week, and he went over some stuff. One of the things he mentioned was about transparency, and here's what he says. It's definitely part of our culture here. I think we have to balance it because so many of us are fans and active users of our own product and have our own point of view on what should get done or what our next feature should be or where we're missing things. It's important that it doesn't just become a product for us, that it's a product for the people who are actually out there buying the games, buying the platform, using these services. For me, I wouldn't have it any other way. I really enjoy, even on hard times, I really enjoy the kind of transparency we have with the community. And that's a very interesting quote, especially because it's coming out right now where you could argue that a lot of people are thinking that Xbox needs to be a little bit more transparent as what is going on with these upcoming first-party Xbox Game Studios games. We know there are a lot in the works, and they've been relatively quiet over the last couple of months about them. But I would say overall, Xbox is extremely transparent in whenever they make an announcement, whenever they do anything. So much so that sometimes they can be too early with their transparency, which can make them look bad. Like if you think of what happened with Scalebound, where they announced that too early, when that just caused terrible PR because the game got canceled. But I think like overall, you think about the Xbox Series X and S and the lead up to the launch of that console, and just kind of since Phil Spencer has taken over, Xbox has been very transparent. Specifically with the launch of the Series X and S, all the marketing words that people were touting as just buzz, that they weren't going to do anything, they weren't going to deliver. They have, I mean, and they weren't just marketing words. You think about the advantage of smart delivery, the quick resume stuff, the auto HDR, the FPS boost, all that stuff has been awesome. The backwards compatibility program, even when they said they were pretty much stopping the backwards compatibility program, they didn't keep you there waiting, wondering if they were going to release more games. They came out and said, hey, we're slowing this down right now. So overall, I think the transparency isn't perfect, but I think it's very, very good compared to something like Sony and the PlayStation 5 when you look at the launch of that console and how they continue to just kind of switch their stances on stuff I mean, the big one was believing in Generations. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know your thoughts on Perfect Dark. Are you worried about that game now, seeing everybody that's leaving, or do you think this is just a natural progression through the development of the game? What are your thoughts on Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, and Xbox? Do you believe they are transparent? If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. You're new here, you like what you saw, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Bye.